Well, hello everyone, and welcome to the Reporter Telegram's Area Football Report. Well, we're getting down to the nitty-gritty, folks. We're in Week 9. It seems like just yesterday we were talking about Week 0 here on the Area Football Report. I'm here with Oscar Leroy. Well, Oscar, it's been kind of an interesting couple of weeks. We weren't on last week. Technical difficulties, all kinds of different, modern technology. Who can deal with it? Interesting week last week, though, which leads us into this week. Big game between Andrews and Greenwood. Andrews picked up a big win last week against their cross-county, cross-border, county border rivals, Seminole. I don't know what they call it if they're the oil rig robbery or whatever. But Andrews got a big win. Greenwood, meanwhile, comes off a game where they probably did not play as well as they probably played worse than they probably thought they were going to play against Monahans. Something's got to give this week. I mean, does Andrews really have a lot of momentum coming into this game?
Tons of momentum. I think I asked Coach Jeff Cordell, if his team was peaking. He goes, well, it sure seems like it, They're playing really well. Going up to Seminole is always a tough place to play. They did what they had to do. Got a key turnover late in the game to seal the victory. And, I think the kids are playing with a lot of confidence right now. Going up to Seminole is just, it does everything for a team. Winning there. Yeah. Greenwood went up there and basically got run over.
Yeah.
And so Andrews has a real good shot of clinching the, playoff spot this Friday.
Right.
And whether or not Greenwood can hang with him, that's going to be a question mark. The Rangers, took it on the chin against Monahans.
Right.
But Monahans been doing that to a lot of people, but they just they're beat up. Having to switch quarterbacks, a couple of things went wrong early in the game against Monahans. Of course, Monahans is that good of a team that they took advantage.
You can't make mistakes like that against Monahans, and it's tough to prepare for a team like Monahans when you don't have the right quarterback and different quarterbacks. Well, what's going to happen with the quarterback situation over there?
That's a good question. Cam Williams went out early at the end of the first quarter with a concussion, possibly. So he's probably not going to play this week. I really don't think he's going to play. So it's going to be either Caden Hadley or Jesse Madrid, probably both.
Right.
They might use both like they did last week. And that's a situation where it kind of takes you out of your rhythm.
Right.
Because last week they prepared but all week about having Cam on quarterback, and then having to make that switch early just took them out of their game.
It seems like there was a lot of enthusiasm at the beginning of the year. Greenwood won a couple games, or they had that good Cajon win. It seems like things were going along pretty well. Then all of a sudden, even with Hatley out, then all of a sudden Cam Williams gets hurt. They have some other issues as well. Even in that game where Madrid played, they seem to be going. Now they seem to have hit some kind of a rut. Is it a confidence thing?
I think it's both. I think injuries kind of sort of compounded things. Early on, also you look at the opponents they were playing. They were playing a lot of 2A teams.
Right.
And then once they got to the heart of their schedule, where they were playing 3A teams and large 3A programs at that.
Yeah, that's true.
Starting off with Sweetwater, and then then you have to go play Big Spring.
Right.
And then and those teams just wear you down.
Right.
With speed and depth. And Greenwood's only has like 26 varsity players on, and suited up. Right. So that kind of hurts you. And the opponents' injuries, confidence-wise, everything just sort of
kind of snowballed over there. Greenwood. Obviously, I think we both kind of are on the same lines. We think Andrews is going to win this game on Friday. What does Greenwood have to do to give themselves a chance?
They're going to have to make plays on offense. Plain and simple. Their defense can only do so much, but if they're on the field the entire game, they're going to get worn down. And as good as their defense is, they just can't afford to stay on there, for these long drives. And if Greenwood has to punt every 3 and outs.
Yeah. Every couple minutes, basically.
Every couple minutes.
Yeah, a minute and a half, 2 minutes.
It's just, you're not giving your defense much of a chance.
Yeah. Well, I think we're both along. Andrews is going to win that game, you think?
I think so, yes.
Okay. We'll talk a little bit about Big Spring here. Well, we got a little bit of time. They get a bye this week. Rough loss last week to Abilene Wiley. I knew that was a game they kind of had confidence. They thought they could win. It would help them in the situation with the playoffs. Now they had to take a week off. Then they got to face Snyder next week. But how are things going over at Big Spring? I mean, was there a lot of frustration after that loss last week?
Yes, there was. I mean, they get on about almost 600 yards of offense. You can't win a game. That's kind of tough.
Right.
But Joe Nasser from Abilene Wiley has 299 total yards.
Right.
Rushing, receiving. Then some key turnovers, key penalties that, just everything just kind of went Wiley's way in certain areas where Big Spring could not get that key turnover, could not make the key stop. Even though they move the ball, but they can drive about 80 yards and turn the ball over.
Right.
That's not going to help. So I think that's where yards are kind of misleading.
What are they going to be working on this week as they get ready for Snyder?
Getting healthy because Dennis Merworth, our starting safety, broke a leg.
Oh, wow.
So he's out. That means along with Terrell Demerson, who got broke his neck against Greenwood. That's two key guys in the secondary who are out. So hopefully get healthy, get rested up. They've gone 9 straight weeks without a rest.
Yeah.
And so right now they're just kind of beat up and worn down. So they need this week to regroup and prepare for Snyder because that's going to be their playoffs.
Yeah, that's the start of the playoffs for them.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the big thing. And I know there's a feeling over in Big Spring that if they can get in, they're going to be a Division I team. If they can get in, they feel like they can go a couple rounds deep. A couple rounds deep there. Now we go to Class 2A. We'll start off in District 2, Division 2. Idalu's got this thing pretty well wrapped up, we think. Likely going to win the division title. The district title. But talk a little bit about Coahoma and how that game against Stanton, they didn't do a whole heck of a lot. But since then, they have been on a roll. And was that kind of a turning point for them this season?
Maybe. But, Stanton's that good defensively, too.
Right.
Let's give Stanton credit. You look at the top 3 teams in that district, they're clear-cut to me, Idalu, Coahoma, Stanton. And you might flip-flop Stanton or Coahoma second or third, but I think it's going to be Stanton at the end of the day. But they all play great defense, and they're just beating everybody else in that district pretty good. Post is the next closest team, but they haven't even come close to even beating those guys.
Right.
17-6 Stanton over Post.
Right.
And then Coahoma's just been rolling, of course.
Yeah.
Once their wing tee gets going, and their defense has been unbelievable this season. That just makes them hard to stop.
Yeah, and I believe Coahoma's got who this week? Coahoma has.
They have a bye with this.
Coahoma has a bye. That's right. Stanton plays Forsyth.
Yeah, Stanton plays
this game, and if Stanton wins, they're pretty much in, right?
Yeah, so they just need one win. They're in.
How did Coahoma get in last week with the win?
They have 4 wins.
They got 4 wins.
Four wins is the key in this district.
Okay.
That puts I lose 4-0. Coahoma's 4-1. Stanton's 3-1.
Okay. All right.
Right now.
So do you think because Coahoma's got Idalu next week?
Mm-hmm.
Regular season finale. It's in Coahoma. Does Coahoma have a chance in that thing?
If they play a great defense, and Idalu's playing unbelievable though. You know what? They're outscoring opponents 186-6. Post is the only team that scored on them, so that's going to be tough. I mean, if Coahoma's going to have a chance, they're going to have to hold Idalu down to 10 points, or less.
Yeah. I mean, that could be a hard-hitting, low-scoring game. That game, there may not be a whole lot of points scored in that one.
It gives Coahoma a chance for a share of the district title. So.
But is Coahoma Bennett? I know you mentioned Coahoma this year could be a surprise team. They've done it now. Does this team have potential now that they're in? I mean, even though they face a tough District 1, is there potential for this team to maybe make some noise in the postseason?
As long as they play defense like they have been,
right.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. But it's going to get tougher because, not to cut down the rest of the district, but,
right.
They're not the type of opponents they're going to face that Coahuma's
right.
going to face in the playoffs.
Right, that's true. That's true.
So,
that's true.
but it's going to be a challenge, but I think, their defense is going to carry them a long way.
Right. We go to Division 1 here in a district, which is Wall, Colorado, Crane. Pretty much the first 2 spots have been taken by Colorado and Wall. That third spot, though, could get really interesting for the rest of the year. Kermit beating Crane last week, though, maybe put a little bit of kink in everything to put everybody still in it. I mean, does Crane still have a shot to get in this thing?
Yeah, they have a shot. I mean, I think outside of Wall and Colorado City, I think everybody can beat everybody.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
They're going to beat each other up, and if Crane, Crane can win out, they got a shot.
That's true. They got a shot.
It is Crane we're talking about.
Yeah, I know. They've been kind of disappointing this year, but I knew they were down on talent. That's a situation where I thought they'd play a little bit better. I didn't think they'd lose to a rival like Kermit.
Yeah, well, when you lose that much talent, I think it's sort of the equalizer for
right.
everybody else. Last year they were just that much better than everybody in that district.
Real quick before we go, we'll talk a little bit about 6-man. Couple big games this weekend. Rankin Garden City and the other big game, Grady Borden County. Grady has shown that they've kind of picked it up as the years progressed. They had that 1 loss against Meadow. Since then they've been playing good defense. Grady got a shot in this thing.
Probably. They do, but it's Borden County.
That's true.
Borden County is a different animal. I think one of the best 6-man teams in Division 1. So, of course, Garden City number 1, Borden County number 2.
Right.
So Grady's a good football team, but they're going to have to play out of their minds and have to play a great ball game with Borden County this week.
They are, and then I'll also talk about Garden City Rankin. Rankin got a big win last week. They're healthy this week, but Garden City's Garden City. I mean, I wonder if that team could be playing any better right now.
Probably, I don't know. It'd be pretty scary. They're playing pretty good. It's going to be interesting in the playoffs. How far Garden City if they can repeat. I still look out for Throckmorton, of course, in the Division 1.
Yeah.
Borden County's going to have a say. So you're looking at the top 3 teams right there. But Rankin's playing better, but they just don't match up with Garden City.
Yeah,
right
I
now.
think that's going to be a tough game for for Rankin on Friday night. It is in Garden City too. It's going to be interesting. Going to be an interesting week. I'd like to thank you for joining us here on the Reporter Telegram's Area Football Report. I'm Len Hayward. That's Oscar Leroy. Thanks for joining us.